the university could do a bit more to encourage such students, and starting with also, educating the students' body that physical disability is not inability.
Having one will be incredible because that will show the acceptance and the openness of students to accept anyone regardless of their ability or their disability.
Being a disability will not hinder you from being a president or any leader in the University of Nairobi, not even the University of Nairobi, but also in the entire country.
I am Kaziri Eid. Thank you so much for joining us in the show. I'm passionate on disability inclusion by the fact that I was born and have a background on disability, and that really makes me enthusiastic. And also as a legal profession, I really want to know on what the law talks about disability inclusion and basically tailor making it to the University of Nairobi. And for our show on We Fit, today we have a very special guest with us. He's one of a kind, actually. To me, he's an icon. He will introduce himself and he just tells us a bit of who he is in this space. Welcome.
Great, thank you. Good morning. My name is Haya Dennis. I'm a University of Nairobi student that is viable, and particularly from School of Law. I'm in my 4th year, I think in my last semester, 4.2. I chair association called the University of Nairobi Students with Disability Association, again the Kenya Students with Disability Association. I'm also very passionate on disability inclusion and particularly on the doctrine of acting for and representing for the persons with disability. Yeah.
Wow, awesome. So we have a very interesting guest, as you've had. And now, Haya, you can just tell me, now that you've mentioned you have all these titles in the University of Nairobi and even outside. So what's your interest on how you see disability policies at the University of Nairobi?
My interest on disability policies, first of all, is for them to be known by everyone, and not only persons with disability, yes, but most importantly persons with disability, and even the general public, so that when they are aware of the policies, so then they don't view disability as a separate entity. Sure. They view it as a part and parcel of the university, and that even to the national government and even to the county or whichever setup that is governing a society, that the policies should be part and parcel of the society.
Yeah. Sure enough. Actually, apart from the slogan that we say, nothing without us, indeed, actually, disability inclusion is not only about person with disability, but the general population, as you just said it. And apart from that, I know there's a form of leadership that you have to get for you to get to know how to advocate for these policies. Maybe you can give us your journey on leadership?
Yeah. My journey on leadership started when I was in class 3. Because in class 3, we were starting being introduced to what we call, informal literature. So informal literature, it demanded that someone must stand out and tell a story. So I was known as a storyteller.
Wow.
So through that, people saw that I would represent them. So then I became the class prefect at that point.
Wow.
So I walked all along. But then along the way, I changed the school. So when I went to another school, I found there was a bit of less awareness on disability. So people started laughing at me, then I stopped. I stopped the morale of learning at some point. I think for 3-4 years, I was not reading. I was just going to school because I would not sit at home. So then I changed the school when I repeated class 8. Then I resumed because I found a very enlightened category of pupils and teachers in Kisumu then. Then I think I represented persons with disability, pupils with disability at county, at national. I think we went even to Rwanda. So I was representing the region, our East Africa, for the pupils with or children with disability. It was by then children with disability. I started in the Children Assembly then. There was a program then sponsored. I think it was being fostered by the Rarieda constituency MP, Honorable Tina Molo. So it was a program that was nurturing leadership by that time. So through that program, my leadership skills got nurtured. So then when I jumped to high school, I became the head boy then. I think I was in Form 3, then in Form 4 I was also head boy. I was leading a population of 2,000 students. Then I came to the University of Nairobi. The same followed me because I realized one thing, that people lack what we call proper representation. And then when you offer proper representation to them, then you become so significant to them. So I did not want to only become significant to myself. I saw a gap in proper representation, and now particularly for persons with disability. Because when I came to the University of Nairobi, the leaders then did not take into core the importance of disability inclusion. So then I think we were having the first ever celebration of international disability in 2021. And it was a 3-day event here in Tarifa Hall. So I saw how there was a mismanagement and disorganization of us. So after that, immediately, I think I went to Madam Mildred, and I told Madam Mildred, now, I want to work with you. Then she demanded that I have to give a report of what has been taking place in that particular event. I went and, by that time, the leader, our leader was somebody called Nyakundi Boniface. It was in Lower Kabete campus. So I went to his room 3 times demanding, would you write that letter? Then when I saw the disinterest in him, then I wrote that letter. So since then, I think around May when we had our first ever elections for the association, I became the chair. And up to now.
Wow, beautiful. That is nice. And just to recap, maybe the schools that you have been leading, like in primary, high school, were they special schools?
They weren't special schools. And actually, I protest against my mom's interest. She thought that I would go to a special school, and she really wanted it. I had known what is happening in special schools, and I didn't want to undergo that. You know, for example, people were meant to think that they are special. So then now when you come outside, now beating the standards of living would be really challenging. So I wanted to survive out of the regular schools and to stand out, until at some point in high school when I was a head boy, when there were some assessment, people want to know how many persons with disability are here, they would forget that I have a disability because they are not seeing it.
Interesting.
Yeah, you know, I'm their president, that they look at to me, I'm their role model. They cannot again figure out, yes, a disability. It was a second thought. Yes.
Wow, nice one. Actually, from that very wealth note of leadership, I am aware last year you also tried to vie as the president of UNSA. How was that experience? You can share with us.
That experience was one of a very tough experience because no one has ever vied with disability here in the University of Nairobi ever since the university started. Yeah. And now people who are looking for how will it go, will even reach the ballot. So the first assignment was reaching the ballot.
Yes.
It was so tough. Forming a team was so tough. And now who want to sponsor you was now the problem. Because I would go to my leaders in parties, political parties, whom we've been working together with outside there. And now they were having some questions now. How will you win? So they were having challenges of supporting me because they knew how would you even deliver? Because the politics in UN has been profiled to be avagunship kind of. So they will be like, can you even slap somebody? Can you even protect yourself? Yeah. So when I read the ballot, they were like, okay, how did he make it now?
Yeah.
Now, when I was presenting myself, presenting my manifestos, I know it was now becoming more interesting.
Yes.
But then when, on the day of election, the delegates then, in their wisdom or not, decided to elect otherwise. But then immediately, they started lamenting, I wish Haya would be there. And actually, they were calling me to represent them when the institution had an issue of the leadership. And I deliberately decided not to, because they had selected somebody in their own interest. So actually, it added more weight. And I think in 2027, I'll be in parliament than sooner or later. Because the experience I got here is so well enough. Yeah.
Yes, actually, I was privileged to hear you present your manifesto.
Amazing.
It was a nice one. However, what you just mentioned, the leaders outside there also didn't believe you can lead at the University of Nairobi. That is also heartbreaking, because I thought they are fighting for change.
Yeah, they're fighting for change in word of mouth, but then in their actions speaks otherwise. Definitely.
But for me, actually, I saw it as a very big step in the fraternity of persons with disability, because having a team who could believe in you, who actually stood by you. And apart from that, I just want you to tell us about the UNSA policy or UNSA regulation on representation of persons with disabilities.
UNSA, first to begin, I don't have fear of contradiction by saying that constitution should be thoroughly reviewed. Thoroughly reviewed, to the sense that, because the commission has been, for one reason or another, tried to implement gender equality. However, they are not doing it through policy. So it has been like, when this year we are having, it started I think in 2021, that when we are having a gent, let's try a lady. So they preach that so effectively that it gives confidence to even the other genders. But then when it comes to persons with disability, they don't preach it so effectively to give confidence to the students with disability to revive. Because the confidence from the commission is so strong that when when Melvin Togo wanted to revive, let me bring it from that. The commission then, when Teddy was the president here, when he was elected, Melvin Togo was the SG in Parklands. The commission preached that we now want gender equality. So gender equality was so strongly preached that Melvin got the confidence to vie. Now, the question, when it comes to persons with disability, it is not so effectively preached that to give a confidence for somebody who is not like higher. No, me, I have confidence in myself. But what about somebody who wants confidence to be preached to? You understand?
Yes.
So it is an issue. Again, the position of persons with disability, the policy makes it there to be there for formality.
Really?
It is for formality. That now, if you don't have a team full of having a person with disability, then you won't buy. But people do not see the essence.
Yes.
Otherwise, they will wish to buy without that position. In campuses where there are no persons with disability who are eligible, are people actually happy? Yes, they're actually happy. It is there for formality. Yeah, to block. It is there as a criteria, even actually, it's making them a criteria to block other candidates from buying, because you don't have a person with disability.
So do you mean higher? All these PWD reps who are in the various teams, they don't have any impact in the leadership of the UNSA? Actually,
it is when many are not even involved in leadership of faculty. They're not involved. They're not. I've been on the ground. They are not involved unless now that person had becomes active and proactive, that's when they will stand out. But normally, these people are, there's a very bad slogan. Wao wanajaza team. A very bad. So people have not been sensitized enough to understand that the role of a person with disability in a team is actually more huge than the chair.
I agree. So for you, maybe what policy would you feel should be actually changed or done better in a different way, if you are given a chance by the commission to make a difference?
One, I would, before I rush to the policy formation, I would want serious sensitization to be done. Because even I was shocked, even our ROs, who are the assistant deans and the registrars, are not well sensitized about persons with disability. Because in the day of election or in the day of swearing in, once people have been sworn in, the day of swearing in, you will find that, they have forgotten that they had a team member who is a person with disability who cannot have, who has mobility issues. Utapata amewachwa, ndio anapigiwa simu. Where are you? Let me send somebody to pick you. So what is that? So it is really painful. So I think we need first sensitization that is meaningful. Sensitization. I do think that the dates for election are a bit short for that sensitization. IBC does it well. That they first do a civic education that is so prior enough to election. I think because the University of Nairobi is so a huge population, before election, I think people should be sensitized enough that fine, next year we are going to an electioneering period. This is what is expected of you. We are having such members of the society, they should be represented. That is when this, even the people in our category will not see themselves as one kujaza team.
That's actually, it's very informative actually.
Yes.
And maybe with your position as the chair of UNSWIDA, what milestone have you done maybe for this university?
I have one, I have always talked to my students before election how important it is for representation. That you cannot demand representation if you are not in the table. So you must be there, then you act on the representation when you're already sitting in that platform. So they first see the importance of it. In these faculties, 90% of the people who stand for persons with disability, I initiate that program. I first initiate the sense in them before they vie. They see themselves, I can. Now, for example, in Parklands, the one who is the outgoing, Davin Geso. Davin Geso, in her growing up, she never thought of becoming a leader. And even the father. So I told the father, no, see, this lady has a bright future in leadership. So I first went to the father, and I went, and actually the day I was convincing Davin, she decided not to come to school deliberately. I went to their shop, where they are having a shop in Nadimawe. And I talked to her, and she joined the team, and now she has been walking a journey of leadership. And actually she came and thanked me that, thank you for enlightening me. So people do not, people first, they do not have that confidence in themselves. So my role has been putting confidence in them. And those are various reasons why I was vying. And you'll find that this time around, people are going to come out. Actually, they are coming out. So many are coming out.
Because standing on independent positions apart from being the PWD rep?
Because higher made it. Why can't we? Yes. So they are not waiting for people to look for them. They're already standing now. And I like that. And they are consulting me, and I'm giving appropriate advice. On the requirements for persons with disability, I've been on the forefront to help to provide those documents myself. So I've been liaising with the Mr. Makwata in the registration program all along to ensure that everyone gets the documents, so that we do our own diligence first as the students, so that the commission does the rest. Yeah.
Wow, that's interesting. So maybe I just want, because I realized most of the time what you're talking, like it's more of these students themselves who have disabilities. What about the students without disabilities?
The students without disability do not care, majority of them. It is not their fault. It is the fault of information has not been well sensitized. I wish that the university would allow that we sensitize amongst ourselves. We preach it to them so that they understand that these people are very important, that they are important, they are part of them, and that it is a club that any person can join anytime. So people get to interact with it when it affects them directly. When maybe their cousin or themselves or a member who is close to them is part of that society. But if not, they see it something that is so separate. Yeah. So sensitization has not been well. I think when in 2021, because I was in first year, but I was involved when Andrew Kiosi, who later on became the representative in the council, was vying, and he was working with the walking stick for the visual. People thought that is a selfie stick.
Wow.
For even sec.
Wow.
That is a selfie. So people were like, this must be a very expensive selfie. It's so long. So that's when people knew, oh, this is a walking stick. This is a white cane.
Yes.
So you see, people are not really sensitive, and it is not their problem. It is a problem of I think, the institution.
Okay, so maybe the management can start, maybe let's say sensitizing the staff, the students as well.
Yes.
Yes, because actually getting to it on the basic reason why you are here in the campus,
Yes.
you are here for academic purposes.
Yes.
How is it with students with disability and acquiring the education?
Students with disability, if there's a conundrum that people are suffering in the university, now it is a double for students with disability. And I think many, it pains me when a student with disability differ, because life has become unbearable. An example, there's a student who comes in, who is in first year, in main campus here. I think she takes her classes from 844. No, she came out to cry to me that people don't care. They just kick my walking stick. Sometimes I fall, but they just pass. So one day I went to that class when I was so fumed, and they talked so harsh. So since then, people started, if she's walking, they pave the way. If maybe she wants to pick something, they help her. If she wants to climb up, they help her. I mean, so it made me to sensitize it, but not in a good way, but I had to through that. And I even talked to the lecturer so harshly. I was so sorry. But then the lecturer was like, no, I didn't know. Thank you for telling me. Understand?
This is too much for one man, and I thought the university has a disability liaison office that
no,
should
many things.
get to do that.
Many students actually apparently they don't want to be close to the admin. There had been a stereotype that there's an enmity between administration and student. So bonding it is a little bit difficult. So then if they find a student leader who is speaking their voice, now they would be very open to that person. And apparently that has been me. So I had to go to that class, and when it was full, and I told them, and I'm not joking, and do not laugh, and do not giggle. Of course, I can be very authoritative at some point. Yeah.
Wow.
And now she's been having now, the future has been now, I think she's enjoying it now. Okay. She even formed friends. People became a friend. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I think even men started approaching her for proposals.
Actually, yeah. We can form into relationships, fall in love anyway in campus.
Yeah.
It's still doable as comrades.
I think many, on that note, You know, on the social aspect, fall in love. I had issues with the ladies who were having disabilities. They were getting stigmatized and all that. So the moment I started interacting with them, I could deliberately call a man, umejua msichana, simjuani. So through that, I built their confidence to interact with these people.
Hi.
And I'm happy.
That's
I was going
interesting.
extra mile.
I hope as you're saying when 4th year, as you're exiting, you're actually making an impact to other leaders as well, to form more leaders, because the way you're talking, it's like if higher goes, what happens to disability inclusion at UN?
I mean, I'm mentoring people. I am mentoring some good people, and they're doing good work.
Okay.
I've mentored some people like Ososi in Pakabete, and they're doing good work. So I'm happy. They will take the mantle.
Maybe will you dare to mention if we have got any student with disability who is vying maybe for a different position apart from as PWD rep?
Yeah, there's a student in Pakabete who was vying for chair, but I think he has merged because of, I think, finance. He has merged, but I advised him to merge. I brought to a good candidate who is going to win. So I was in that table merging him. So but he's not going for PWD. He's the SG in that seat. So after all, is a good take home.
That's a nice one. Okay, so maybe what would you like to tell other aspirants now that it's the campaign period, even those without disabilities? How do they get to involve the voices of persons with disabilities? Now you've mentioned a lot of challenges. Are they even aware that these students in campus face such challenges? Yes.
I would want to advise whoever is buying that the best leaders that have ever existed are leaders that cared for inclusion.
Yes.
And that is worldwide, research and confirmed. And even in institutions like Safaricom, who have focused so much on inclusion, they are on top, and they are not leaving that top very soon, because even in their inventions, they visualize in terms of disability inclusion. So I would want to advise that any leader who is vying, who then visualize inclusion as the core and prioritizes, will be the best leader at the end of the day. And because if you impact such kind of people, I think God blesses you in a way. So if you want to maintain leadership, I think kindly focus on inclusion in whichever way, but most of persons with disability. And let them know that when I just a team, let them play very important roles in decision making, particularly.
And for those candidates maybe who are nominated as PWD reps, what would you tell them for them to have a voice on the table as well? Because now it's already a constitutional requirement for them to be there, so they shouldn't just do as you're saying, kujaza the table. What can they do to make an impact?
I know many of my students are in teams and have formed teams, but let them know that only one team will win, and if one team wins, then whoever wins should work together with the rest who are vying in that faculty, and let there be no enmity political on that side. 2, stand out, speak your ground, and at some point, please make noise. Make noise thoroughly, so that people know that you are there. First thing, there should be visualization. People must know that you are there. That is 1. 2, people must know your needs. 3, people must implement on your needs, and you have to represent these people. Yes.
And now that we are in an inclusive setup, this is a university, not where it's only that has students with disabilities, but everybody is there. And even the market outside there, we don't only get a market that has got only persons with disabilities. So how would you tell even these students with disabilities to integrate and to get to associate with other students as well, and not just viewing themselves as special or the challenges that they only face?
I would want to tell them that life is bigger than your challenges, and life can be more interesting than your challenges if you do not put your challenges ahead, but then you put your challenges as a way of success. That if your challenges encourages you to do one more thing extra, that will make a success out of it. Because not every time people will want to hear your cries.
Yes.
Can you be a person who can make a solution to a problem that is not facing only persons with disability, but even facing people who are not having disability? Can you be a solution bringer? Can you bring a solution? Can you make a decision? Can you be part of the decision making that is going to change a problem in the society? Because really, people respect that when you are speaking the solution, rather when you're speaking the challenge. We do not want to put aside the challenge, but we want to tie it together with the solution.
I get it. So here we have Haya. In the next few months, he'll be exiting as a law student.
Sure.
So what are your plans?
My plan is to revisionize the legal fraternity and the legal profession on the disability inclusion seriously, and to even set up laws and jurisprudences that are protecting persons with disability, and particularly on governance, on employment, on education, yes, and of course, I want to beat the mantle. I want to beat the status quo of what has been in existence, because I even see the lecturer who taught us disability law is also a person with disability. But then, even at that level, they still have challenges of representation. Also, I want to beat that mantle. So then I want to even represent the vulnerable community, which is not only persons with disability, even other voices that are speechless, that are voiceless. Yes. Yet through legal representation and through law.
As you're growing up, what was your real motivation to pursue the cause?
As I was growing up, life was full of misinformation, disinformation, and pure nonsense. Because people will come to my society looking for persons with disability, and they take money from my mom, they manipulate her, and I was like, this is nonsense. So then I wanted first make the society understand what is law.
Yeah.
And particularly persons with disability. What is even their rights? My mother, I think up to that time when I was finishing Form 4, she didn't know majority of my rights as a child with disability. She was being told with things that are very incorrect, and she was meant to pay even for disability card. Okay. And it didn't come.
Unfortunate.
Things that should be free. Yeah. So I was with my mom. She's carrying me, and we are still queuing in a line. We are still fighting for things that should be meant for us. So growing up, I was already having that in mind. That now what if I qualify for law? Then I do law. Then I change the status quo. I change what has been going on. I first do the information. Then now I represent these people. Yes.
Wow, that is nice, and I'm happy you are living your dream.
Absolutely.
We are getting to achieve it.
Very true.
Yes, so I'm very happy today we've had a very nice guest, Mr. Dennis Haya. The way I've heard him talk, actually the future is very bright for him. I believe it, and I wish you all the best, sir.
Thank you, sir.
And as we end our show on We Fit, I just want to tell our audience that disability inclusion is not only for persons with disability, but the whole society has to be a part of it, because this is a club that you never know when you will join, and being sensitive and aware makes the world a better place. Thank you so much, and you can give us a parting shot as we close the show.
I'm so grateful to have been here. I'm still going to, I'm not leaving the space of disability inclusion anytime soon, but then I want everyone to join the campaign and the sensitization, so that we have a disability inclusive environment. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Haya.
I'm so grateful.
Okay.
UNC TV.